In this video, we're going to talk about virtual dimmers. We're going to talk about what they are and how to use them, or why to use them also. Oftentimes we have to put a virtual dimmer, which by definition is a virtual dimming channel that you're applying to a fixture that doesn't have dimming already built into its personality or profile. So for example, if we take a look at this show here, these are all of the fixtures that are patched into this show. Out of these fixtures, I have these Chauvet Colorado batten 4s, and they're patched in as one cell RGBA. So what does that mean? If we take a look at the head itself, we're going to look at the profile. So we click on the fixture, then we can click on Edit Head, brings us into the head editor. And if we look at View Channels here, we can see the channels that are in that fixture. So we only have red, green, blue, and amber, and that's it. We don't have a dimming channel built in. So how would we get light, or how would we get output out of this fixture? If we go back to Layout 1 and we pick our Colorado Solo battens, we'll see here in the X encoder, we do have intensity, but if I try and move it or bring it up, it doesn't react. It stays at 0%. There is no intensity in there. Okay. The way to get output out would be to go into the color space, and now I have my red, green, blue, and amber channels, and I can bring up red, and there I have red. If I wanted to mix a color in, I could bring up blue, and I could get magenta or something like that. Now I can put this onto a fader. I can press record like I could anything else and put it down here and hit clear, it goes away. And now, let me change the settings on this. I want the fader to activate my stack and to release my stack as well. So now when I activate my Q stack, my lights come on, but I have no dimming capability over them. They're only going to snap on, and then when I bring them down, they're going to snap off. I could go in and I could play with some of the options of this playback, of this fader. I could come in, view options, and I could say this fader controls LTP channels because color is an LTP channel, whereas intensity or dimming is an HPT channel. So if I said yes to this, I could come in here and I could, now if you notice, I have dimming. However, I would run into some other issues. If I tried to put a dimming effect on here, I might run into some issues, and there are some other areas that I might run into some issues because I don't have a dimming channel built into this fixture. So I'd actually like to leave this at no, and I'll solve this problem another way. So now, if I go back into the patch, if I highlight all of these fixtures, I can either click on my trackpad or my mouse and just scroll down with my finger, or I can put the yellow cursor on the first one here, hold down Shift, and use my arrow key and choose all of them. Now if I hold Shift again, you'll see this soft button here turns into Add VDim. If I click on it, it's going to ask me if I want to add VDims for this head. I'll say yes. And it's going to do the operation in the background. And now I get an answer that says done VDim. Okay. If I go back to my All tab, this lists every single fixture that I have in the show. If you notice here, I already have some of these fixtures that are in here. These are RGBAW fixtures that are LTP fixtures. So they're also fixtures that don't have dimming channels into them. So I put a virtual dimmer in these, and you'll see it shows a generic dimmer here, which is unpatched, and then it says 1V, and the V stands for virtual dimmer. If I scroll down and I look at my Colorado Solos, they now have also virtual dimmers that are attached to the same head number, same fixture number, as the actual fixture itself. This is a kind of a personal opinion. I like to keep my patch as clean as possible, so I don't like to see all these extraneous lines in here if I don't need to. So we can get rid of those by going into Setup, playback, Q storage, and then hide VDims. Click on that and just say yes. Now when we go back to the patch, you'll see these are the fixtures that had the virtual dimmers in there, and now the virtual dimmers are gone. However, in the head number column, it does say 1 plus V, 2 plus V, allowing you to know that those are virtual dimmers. And the same would be true for the Colorado solo battens that I just patched in. That's the head number plus V, is that it's a virtual dimmer. So now when I go back to layout 1, and I click on my solo battens again, now you'll notice I get intensity. So now, just like any other fixture, I can ramp up intensity to whatever level I want and save that. I'm going to remove the other cue that we had put in, and I will bring this to 100 and record this one in here. So now I have to change my options again. Now I have dimming on my actual fixtures. And now I can add effects, dimming effects, a little bit easier to these. If I pick my Colorado solos, go into effects, intensity, dim chase, and now I have a dim chase. If I tried to do this without adding a virtual dimmer into these fixtures, then I would get an error message down here that would tell me that that fixture has no such channel or no such capability in order to add that effect to. But by adding that virtual dimmer, now I can do it. And this is why we use virtual dimmers. Any fixture that you run into that might have RGB or RGBA or any kind of those mishmash of letters, but doesn't have dimming already built into the profile, it's that simple to go ahead and add a virtual dimmer to it. Happy programming. Have a great day.